This episode is brought to you by Meow Wolf. Memories await at Meow Wolf Denver. Have a new cosmic experience as often as you want for a whole year with the annual Portal Pass. Practically perpetual access to Convergence Station, plus special discounts and perks with a Z every month. Get your Portal Pass for 30% off now through June 20th. Already planning a visit? Upgrade your regular ticket to a Portal Pass for just $19 on site. For more information, visit meowwolf.com. That's meowwolf.com. Today on CityCast Denver, what are the must-see places around Denver that are actually worth your time, and what are the ones that, well, you should probably skip? We're revisiting a conversation from last year where the team rounds up the best and worst local tourist attractions for spending those precious summer days. Today is Monday, June 10th. I'm Bree Davies, and here's what Denver's talking about. Hi, Paul.
Hey, good morning, Bree.
Hi, Olivia.
Hey, Bree.
Hi, Peyton.
Hello.
So we're talking about tourist traps and tourist treats. So things in and around Denver and not too far of a drive outside of Denver, maybe a little bit in the mountains. And the things that we think are worth it and the things that we think are just not worth the money, overhyped. So yeah, Olivia, let's start with you. What was your tourist trap or the thing you just weren't that keen on?
Okay, well, to start, I really enjoy the natural feature of Royal Gorge. However, I think that it has just become, there is so much stuff that is just so extra, in my opinion. There's like plays and like shows and a million gift shops and bands and I just want to go stand on the bridge and look at the freaking gorge. I mean,
so you feel like the natural wonder of it is being sort of oversaturated by the commercialism extras.
I mean, it's a theme park. I mean, when I went when I first moved here like 2 years ago, and there was seriously a show of exotic animals while I was there. And it was just so weird. And so I think if I were going to do it again, I want to go on the train. Like, I've outed myself.
Is that the narrow gauge rail?
I don't know.
Is that the one that goes up or
it's
into
like
the gorge?
In the gorge, yeah. And I've definitely outed myself.
That sounded cool.
Big train girl. Like, shout out to Georgetown. Love the train. Like, that would be my number one if we hadn't already, like, hyped up the train so much. But I think, yeah, I feel like there's too much stuff going on. I don't think it needs it. I think it's just cool.
I think that's really valid. I think that's a good one. I went to the gorge, I don't know, a few years ago. Not a few years ago. I don't know. I was like 14 maybe. That was more than a few years ago. That was like 15 years ago. But I enjoyed it.
There is a lot going on up there. Pan for gold. I don't know. There just feels like
you can pan for gold.
You can do everything.
You can do that a lot of places in Colorado, to be fair.
They've really commercialized it.
They've done that at everything. It's like Colorado, pan for gold here. And it's like, all right, just chill.
So if you want to just go to the Royal Gorge, is it a national park? Is it something that you can just go to, or do you have to pay?
No. So you have to have like a general admission ticket if you want to go on the bridge.
Okay.
And so you have to pay $32.
Oh, wow.
If you buy it on the internet. I don't know how much it costs in person, but if you buy it on the internet, an adult has to pay $32 to be able to go on the bridge. And then your child, who's 3 to 11, has to pay $27. And then your 2 and under kid is free. And if you want to do more, you know, if you want to do the zip line, it's $48. If you want to do the sky coaster, it's $38.
Whoa. So those are add-ons.
Yeah. Like, there's a million things.
This does sound a little bit overdone.
It's ridiculous. I just want to go look at this super cool gorge. I don't know.
Okay. So Royal Gorge, this is our first tourist trap. Paul, what is your tourist trap?
Well, mine's actually not too far from Olivia's. It's also outside of Colorado Springs. It's about an hour away. It's the Manitou Cliff Dwellings. So if you have not heard of this site, the website promises that you can, quote, discover history and explore the past. It promises ancestral Puebloan cliff dwellings from 1,000 years ago. And it's quite popular. Like 100,000 people go to this place every year. But what the website doesn't say, and what is kind of obscured by the actual experience, is that this is not a place where ancestral Puebloan people built cliff dwellings. This is a place where a lady named Virginia McClurg, who actually was a really important preservationist 100 years ago and involved with the creation of the Mesa Verde National Park, she took some ruined cliff dwellings from what's now southwestern Colorado, and she trucked them across the mountains and reconstructed cliff dwellings outside of Colorado Springs. So you can go there, and school children, busloads of them, go every day and see what she says are ancestral Puebloan cliff dwellings, but are in fact a total fake and farce. They're connected by cement, and you can climb all over them, and it's really weird.
Do they advertise that anywhere at the place?
I think that they will tell you what the real history of the place is, but they will not say, for example, what Raven Payment, past CityCast Denver guest, who, people might know as a big advocate for the indigenous community here. She went recently and she had this super fiery tweet thread where she was saying stuff like, every effort to stereotype natives as primitive, dirty, and diseased was taken. She says, sadly, it's not just tourists that come here. Local schools also bus in their students for educational field trips. This continues to perpetuate the myth that we were primitive savages of the past, not a robust and sophisticated living culture. So I think it's just one of those places where it's it's been a tourist trap for 100 years, and it's very problematic to the modern eye. But honestly, part of me is the historical nature of this tourist trap. It's been this messed up for so long. There's a tiny bit of intrigue for me there too, just to go and see the spectacle of this.
But Paul, what the reaction I'm having to what you just explained is how I feel differently about everything now that we went through that Denver Museum of Nature and Science.
Absolutely.
Tour of the indigenous cultures area that they've closed. And it strikes me the same way it struck me when we learned that diorama of the Seminole family, it was in a Denver museum because the white people that collected stuff were obsessed with them. And it kind of feels that way, where it's this is all not only not cool, this is really bad.
This one is so interesting to me because it seems like people might not know that. People might go to this and not know. And
I would have never known that.
This isn't just a trap. This is a sham. This is a tourist sham. I'm
it feels pretty dirty.
I feel do people go and protest out in front of it? I feel I could see people with signs standing in front of it, don't believe them.
Look at the cement between the rocks. It's not 1,000 years old.
Yeah, open your eyes, sheeple.
This is how I felt when I was traveling in Ecuador, sidebar, and we went and saw the equator. I was so excited. I took a picture standing on the equator line, and it's real cool. And then my tour guide was like, okay, well, now that you guys have all seen that, if you look over there, that's the actual equator. It's something like 20 miles off. I forget what he said. It was more convenient to have the line in a certain spot, so you're not even on the actual equator. So all those photos people take straddling the equator is not true. You're not even anywhere close to the equator. I was so angry, and it had something to do with white people coming and wanting I'll have to look it up. I wrote it down.
They were we actually need the area where the equator is because we want to build a McDonald's.
Starbucks drive-through.
I mean, I'm learning something new every day. I love when I learn something from our very own show. Well, Peyton, beyond the equator issues you have, what in Colorado is your choice for a tourist trap?
So this was hard for me. I really put probably more thought than was necessary into this, and I want to say my tourist trap was almost Boulder, Colorado, because
are you talking about the home of Willie, your husband?
Yes, my husband and my in-laws, and I have a lot of thoughts about Boulder, Colorado, and it's so overpopular and so overhyped. So anyways, I changed it to something a little more local. I changed it to the Denver Aquarium.
Because
Spicy. I started looking at lists. Like if you Google like top Denver tourist attractions, the Denver Aquarium makes the cut. And I don't think it should. So I started digging into it. It's way too expensive. It's $27.50 for adults, $20.99 for kids 3 to 11. And that's not even to add on all the special experiences like the 4D theater or any of the rides. And it's just, I don't know, it's weird. It feels kind of like a gross, dirty cash grab to me. Like they're just like inundating you with stuff. Like there's a tiger there, which has never made any sense to me. And that poor tiger seems so sad, locked in this indoor room that's all, I don't, it's just horrible. I don't like that. You can have dinner there. I had dinner there once. They served me fish.
Oh, I was gonna say, is this place that has fresh seafood?
It's where we drove by the other day, Olivia.
There was something weird about eating fish in front of other fish.
Oh, no.
They're just kind of odd. Like there's just too much going on there. It's like a little too gimmicky without any real value.
It feels like a tour. It just feels like it's a cash grab.
It's like they try and promote themselves as this like really cool thing, but then you end up going, and I feel like you're gonna go and you're gonna leave and be like, that felt like a waste of money.
I have to be honest with you. I haven't been there since 1999 when it opened, and it was like, I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure it was more geared towards science, and then it was purchased by a company that's like a restaurant.
100%. I think that's the shift. I think that maybe at one point it was cool, but now I think it's completely evident that they're less focused on the actual like the aquatic animals, and they're more focused on like selling special dinners and doing all of this weird other stuff that just takes your money. Personally, it's just, if I had a friend here and they were like, hey, should I check out the Denver Aquarium? I would be like, no, your money is going to be better spent somewhere else in Denver. And I have somewhere that you could spend less money than that for a way better experience. So
I look forward to hearing
Plus,
that.
they just seem like they're up to fishy stuff. You listen to our podcast from, I think, whatever, last summer, maybe.
Yes. I was just going to say, we will share a link in the show notes to our conversation with Westward writer Katie Cheshire. Did a sort of deep dive investigation talking to some folks behind the scenes there at what she learned about the aquarium. So I don't think you're wrong there, Peyton, in your
spend
assessment.
your money, go spend that same ticket price to go to Meow Wolf or Elitch's or Lakeside or something else. What about you, Bree?
This one breaks my heart. I really didn't want to have to do this. But it's going to be controversial in my community of myself and whoever else cares about this.
I can't wait. What do you got?
Waterworld.
Was almost my trap. That was almost my trap. And you know why it wasn't my trap? Because I was like, not enough people care or like Waterworld to tell people to go. I don't like Waterworld.
Well, Peyton, I struggled for a long time because there was a lot of stuff I really didn't want to throw under the bus. I was just feeling too. And my experience last year, Paul and I went and did a behind the scenes tour. Again, it was awesome. It was so awesome. It made me more stoked. Then I went to Waterworld. It sucked. I spent the whole day waiting in line. I rode maybe 3 rides. It sucked. And what sucks even more is people pay extra to cut. It's like their special pass or whatever, which is like not me being bitter, but like, why am I waiting 2 hours to ride Journey to the Center of the Earth? Like, it's not worth it. So I found it, it bothered me since last year. And I was like, I'm probably never going to go to Waterworld again until my son is like, please take me to Waterworld. And then I will go and I will sit all day and read a book while he waits in line.
You'll be that mom.
I will. It bums me out to say it, to be honest with you, but it's not worth the money. There's lines for the bathroom. There's lines to get a drink. There's lines for food. And it's not the normal line. It's like, it was just like, this is ridiculous. This is not worth it. So
yeah,
I'm sorry, Waterworld. I love you, but
I already had a bias. I've never really liked Waterworld.
They need to do like tickets or something so they don't have too many people in there. I feel like COVID taught everyone that. I thought
they need to do some kind of line management system if they want to make it.
They need to talk to that guy at Casa Bonita.
The Casa Bonita line guy.
Yeah, he's studied the science of lines for many years.
So I'm sorry, Waterworld. I love you, but I won't be going to you anytime soon.
Winding through the canyon, her anticipation rose. Monarch Casino Resort Spa, the epitome of mountain chic. Her pulse raced as she sat down at a high-limit baccarat table. Hungry, she chose the Southwest fusion flavors of Bistro Mariposa before sending to bliss at top-rated Spa Monarch for a signature massage treatment. She slept well in her luxurious hotel room, fulfilled by her stay. Write your own story at monarchblackhawk.com.
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
This episode is brought to you by Pine Melon, the farmer's market delivered. Miss the farmer's market this weekend? Don't fret. Pine Melon has got you covered, delivering Colorado's freshest local produce straight to your doorstep. Pine Melon is a next-generation grocery delivery app that partners with over 200 local farmers, ranchers, and producers in Colorado. With a mission to transform Denver's food system, empower local makers, and promote community well-being, they make supporting local both easy and rewarding. Enjoy high-quality meats, eggs, and dairy from small local farms, as well as a wide variety of pantry staples, all delivered straight to you. The best part? Pine Melon offers same-day delivery to Denver and Boulder within a 2-hour window. No subscription necessary. Support local today and use promo code CityCastDenver for $75 off your first delivery at pinemelon.com. Enjoy the best of the farmer's market, even when you can't make it there yourself. Let's move on to tourist treats. Let's talk about the things in the state that we really love, that we think are worth the value and get us excited to do something we really look forward to doing in the summer, or I don't know, have already done it or ready to do it. Olivia, do you want to start?
Yes. So mine is a little place in Morrison, none other than Tiny Town.
Oh.
What's Tiny Town? I don't know this.
So,
What?
wow.
Paul?
Tell me about Tiny Town.
God, Paul. Tiny Town.
I'm missing out.
Tiny Town is this little miniature town.
And it's really tiny.
And it's tiny and cool. And it has a little train that goes through it. I know, trains, right? But I don't know. There's just something about it. So like when I was a kid and I grew up in Kansas City, there was this little park I used to go to that had this miniature town. And so then when I was reporting in Morrison, I came across Tiny Town and I was like, oh my God, this is like what I did as a kid, but way better. Because it was like, you know, a literal model of every building. I was like, this is so cool. So Tiny Town is over 100 years old, which is so cool. Like it is old.
I had no idea.
Yes, it is.
It is 1915?
Yeah, so it's got a long history. Tiny Town has overcome much adversity. Like I have been reading, you know, they've got their timeline on their website. They have been taken out by many a flood.
Oh.
But you know, Tiny Town perseveres. They come back. The guy who was building it, Lyle Fulkerson, he was killed by a runaway train car on his way to work on Tiny Town in 1977. So like this place has had a lot of adversity. So it's just insane.
But besides looking at these tiny houses, which are really cool, I'm Googling them right now, and riding the train around all these tiny houses, what do you do at Tiny Town?
There's picnic tables. I think they have a little concession stand. It's just honestly like a good little place to spend an afternoon, like a fun little stop in Morrison, you know, especially like if you have little kids, I think.
Yeah.
Because it is cheap. It is cheap. It costs $5 for adults to get in, $4 for kids, and anyone under 2 is free. And then if you want to ride the train, it's $4. And babies are free. That's like the cheapest thing you could probably do in this state. It is so cheap and so worth it.
That's awesome.
And it is right next to, I'm pretty sure the coffee shop changed hands, but it used to be next to this coffee shop called Tomari's in Morrison. I think it's called something else now, but go grab a coffee and lunch afterwards, and I don't know. It's just wholesome.
Cool. Peyton, how about you? What is your tourist treat?
Long-time listeners of the podcast won't care. It's not going to be Estes Park.
I know. I was like, it better not be Estes Park.
It was almost Estes Park. It was almost the Stanley Hotel, because that's a tourist treat for sure. But I figured Paul and the rest of our listeners were sick of hearing me talk about Estes Park. Close second, though, something that I have talked about on the podcast, the Denver Zoo.
Oh, okay.
100% a tourist treat. And the more I did research for the Denver Zoo, the more I feel confident and solidified in my decision to get on my zoo soapbox again, because they have everything. And especially if you compare them directly to the Denver Aquarium, which ticket prices are cheaper to get into the Denver Zoo than it is to get into the aquarium. For adults to get into the zoo, it's $24. For kids, it's only $18. If you're a member, admission is free. That's crazy that the Denver Aquarium is charging more than the zoo for like a fraction of the experience. And the zoo caters to everybody. There's even special adult only nights. They've got all these food trucks that come in now. If you haven't been to the zoo in a while, they serve alcohol for adults. So it's not just a family thing or not just a kid thing. They're also like super approachable. They try to be like accessible to everybody. If you have a SNAP card, admission is just $1. They also have a lottery, and they give out, if you sign up to do the lotteries, I think they do like 10 a year. You can sign up and get into free zoo day, which is reserved for just people to go for free on those days. They have sensory friendly facilities and services. They have everything, and they're so focused on conservation and education. And it's just, the Denver Zoo is a great example of what a zoo should be. And if you don't believe me, follow them on Instagram, because their Instagram posts are incredible. That is my zoo soapbox.
That's a great pick, Peyton.
It is. It's the best.
Just knowing the zoo is cheaper than the aquarium kind of blows my mind.
Yeah.
It's like they offer so much more.
I made a point of looking up that they're like ADA accessible, like across the entire zoo. They have these cool apps. They have, it's just the best, you guys.
I love it. I love that. I love that pick. It's like an obvious one, but it's not really. Like, if you don't think about all the benefits of it, I love it. Mm-hmm. Paul, what about you? What's your tourist treat?
All right, mine is something of a triple threat. It's the Buffalo Bill Museum and Grave. So I was thinking about history with the Manitou Cliff dwellings, and I thought, what's a good version of that? The Buffalo Bill Museum is phenomenal. It's owned by the city of Denver. It's part of our mountain park system. If you don't know Buffalo Bill, I think it's a pretty common story. A lot of people probably will, but he's this celebrity of the Wild West, back when the Wild West was just a set of ideas and narratives about, the frontier and Buffalo. And so he was just one of those guys, but he was a real person. And this museum tells his life story, and it is just chock full of incredible artifacts, costumes from his Wild West show. Like, this guy he was a larger than life personality, and this museum captures all of that. So it's a place it's a great place to go and think about, what it means to be living in the West, but also like the stories that we've told ourselves for 100 years about this place. The other two threats, the gift shop, pretty darn good. Pretty fun gift shop in the spirit of Buffalo Bill. Lots of interesting stuff to look at. They have a restaurant there, so you can make a day out of it. And it's on top of Lookout Mountain, and it offers a beautiful vista, including the whole Denver skyline. You can see a lot of the Front Range. It's just one of those places up in the foothills where, especially if you've biked up to the top of Lookout Mountain, like I know some people do, it's really a great treat.
I don't think I've ever been there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm glad you brought this one, Paul, because I don't know anything about that place, and I pass the exit for it all the time, and I've always kind of wondered, what exactly is this?
This is the one in like Golden, right?
Yeah, just outside Golden on top of Lookout Mountain. 30 minutes from downtown.
I can't say I've been there, but I have heard this referred to as a tourist trap.
Interesting. I could see how other people would have a different opinion about it.
But it's part of our park system, right? Which I think is awesome.
Which is why it's cheap. And that's the other thing. Yeah. So it's only $5 for adults. It's $1 for kids between 6 and 17 years old. Oh my God. So
I love those 80s prices.
You're not going to be shelling out for too much stuff unless you go crazy in the gift shop.
Lookout Mountain is dope too. That's where I did my engagement photos.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so cool. That's so cute.
I used to go up there all the time as a high schooler. We didn't have anything to do, so we would just drive to Lookout Mountain, cause shenanigans up there.
Oh my God, I love it. Well, I'm glad you brought that one, Paul. Good one for the mix.
Bree, I think you're next.
I am.
Take us home.
So, something I realized recently is, as a person that doesn't like skiing or snow or being cold, my favorite time to go to the mountains is the summertime. And there's a lot of ski towns that have cool stuff going on in the summer. And so my pick is Winter Park, and they have this summer fun unlimited activity pass. And it includes a gondola ride, so you can go 10,000 feet up and see the Continental Divide. You can walk around when you're up there. It's an incredible view. They have the Alpine Slide, which if you guys have not been on an Alpine Slide, it's like a sled in a luge track, and you sit up and it's got like a handle, a brake handle is how you control it.
It's pretty terrifying.
Oh, I think they're so fun. And I learned I can take my 2-year-old. So they have a putting green, ropes course, and a climbing wall. And it's $11 for kids under 4. It's $54 for 4 to 11-year-olds and $59 for kids or everybody over 11, I think. And that's if you purchase your tickets 2 days in advance online. But for an all-day excursion, I think, in the mountains, that seems like a pretty good deal to me, considering Waterworld's around that same price to me, and you actually get to be in the mountains and go to the see the Continental Divide.
And like, is everything pretty much included in that price?
Yeah, all those things are.
Okay. Then yeah, that's not bad.
But like, I looked at the ropes course. They have ones for little kids, like toddlers can do it. So I was like, oh my gosh, this will be awesome for my kid. And Winter Park's like 90-ish minutes drive away. So you can do that in one day. You don't have to stay overnight. I recommend it because it's nice to wake up in the mountains. But I don't know. I just wanted to give a shout out to mountain ski towns during the summer. They have plenty of things to do. You don't have to be a hiker. You don't have to be a person that likes to do mountain biking. However, both of those things are things you can do in Winter Park as well. So Winter Park is my summer tourist treat.
Love it.
I love that. That's a great call. I think it's a relatively recent trend that these ski resorts are offering more summer activities, and it's terrific because they're beautiful places.
Oh, it's
like Copper Mountain has one.
Yeah, Copper does. Breckenridge does. Frisco has a bunch of stuff you can do very similarly. They've got the Dillon Reservoir right there as well. If you're a water person, or if you have kids that have a lot of energy, this is an awesome way to like take them to the mountain for a mountain day. Let them go crazy, and then they sleep on the way home. It's perfect. I know. Me too if I'm not driving. Thanks, you guys, for bringing your recommendations and your opinions.
See you out there, Bree.
Happy summer.
That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. If you enjoyed this show, why not take a minute to tell your favorite tiny town train operator about us? Rate the show wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe to our morning newsletter and learn more about us at denver.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. See you later.
Local podcaster gets carried away pretending to be Godzilla.
No.
Paul, I hope that's not how you mark your first visit to Tiny Town.
You just have to go enjoy the whimsy.